This is another awkward girl story, and this is gonna be about my accident proneness and my ridiculous injuries that only I would ever manage to get. Like this current bruise I have right now. It looks it's a lot way darker than it is like showing up on camera, but I got that from being stepped on the bus on Friday. My arm, but that was because I had a crazy bus driver who was like speeding around a corner like way too fast, like seriously, it felt like the bus was going to tip over, like she was taking it that quickly, and then mid doing this she slammed on the brakes, so like half the bus just like went flying like out of our seats and into the aisle, and the guy sitting next to me ended up she's getting off, accidentally stepped on my arm. So yeah, that's something that like doesn't commonly happen, like but I've been like on a steady roll of injuries since I was like 16 months old, after my first injury, and that was when I broke my arm for the first time. Or that was like my first broken bone. I jumped off my dining table and landed on top of my arm, and broke it while I still had my while I was still in a cast and my arm was still broken. I fell down my babysitter's stairs and cracked my head open and needed stitches for the first time, and still have the scar. And then shortly after, it was right after I got my cast off, I fell up my aunt's stairs and broke my nose for the first time. All before I was 2, and while my mom was heavily pregnant with my little sister, and I just stressed her out. And I've been on a steady roll of injuries and broken bones ever since. Like, I break usually about at least 2 bones a year. The most bones I've broken in 1 year was 27. And all just within June 2014. First, I tripped over a curb and landed on my hand, like on a brick or something that was sticking out of the sidewalk, and fractured a bone right in the center of my left hand. 6 days later, I got ran over and broke all 26 bones in my right foot. And I've already told a story about that, how I freaked out the first responders when they seen like how mangled my foot was, and that me just being calm and just like seeming unfazed at all, and then getting painkillers and creeping on one of the paramedics. Like, good times. Yeah, so another weird injury I got was probably when I accidentally cut half of the bottom of this thumb off, like from here to here, just all the bottom, like is down to the bone. The entire pad of my thumb, this padding of my thumb was gone. I had the chunk of flesh that I cut off like in my hand, and I handed it to the doctor. Just all white and like dead, and just like it's just like a limp dead flesh. I was like, handed it to him. I was like, you can stitch this back on. He's like, whoa. I was like, no, I cannot. As soon as the biohazard bin. And then I had to just wear this gigantic weird cast thing my thumb. And the doctor wasn't sure if I was going to end up getting my thumb pad back, or if it's going to be all mangled or whatever. Because now that it's cut down to the bone from here to here. Yeah, just gone. A few months later, I walked into the gym at my school, and when some guys were playing hockey, and I didn't know that there was anyone in there, and accidentally walked in the same time that like I think one of the guys was going to do a slap shot or something, but he had pulled his hockey stick back or something. I'm not sure. I don't remember it happening at all. For me, it seemed like I just stepped into the gym, and then suddenly I was getting patted in the face and like with one of the guys I went to school with, just constantly like repeatedly like apologizing. And I was like, what? I'm like, why are you touching my face? I'm like, what are you apologizing for? And he's like, I hit you with a hockey stick. It couldn't have been that hard because I didn't even notice it. And he's like, oh really? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, fine. I'm like, I know you would never hit me with a hockey stick on purpose. And he's like, okay. And I was like, don't worry. He's like, you're not bleeding much. I'm like, I'm bleeding? And he's like, no. And I look, and there's a puddle of blood like at my feet, and like his hands are full of blood. I'm like, you lied! And like got all freaked out and ran away because I was so terrified, because like I just got my eyebrow pierced like 2 weeks before that, and like I assumed my eyebrow ring was ripped out. So I'm running to the principal's office, and then she like was like freaked out. It's the only time I've ever heard her swear. Because my eye was like so swollen. It's already swelling shut. Like I could just see this like cut like right across here. Like I had to go to the hospital and get stitches. My eye was swollen shut for a week, and yeah, you can still see like I got the scar here from right across there. Yeah. I fell off a cliff. I fell down a cliff when I was 14, and I have a permanently messed up spine now. But I was running down the sewer boxes along the cliff face on Bellevue in my hometown, and slid off the side. Thankfully, it's winter, so like I had like lots of snow to cushion my fall, and because I fell like a good like 13 feet at least, and like landed on my back, and then rolled it like another like 10 to 15 feet the rest of the way down. But like I just got up and I was like, oh, I was like, it must have been like an adrenaline or shock or whatever, because like I didn't even feel like injured. I just got up and I was like, brushed myself. I was like, oh, I'm glad no one was around to see that. And just like trudged through the rest of the snow and finished walking home. The next day I could not get up though. I had to get my mom had to help me like get out of bed, and then I went to school, and my teacher had noticed my lower back was all swollen and bruised, and she made me go to the hospital. There's only one time that any of my injuries actually ended up involving anyone else being part of it too, and that was when I was 15. The last time I rode a quad, I was driving it and had to, it's at the very top of a steep hill, I had to make a sharp turn, but when I did the turn, because the trail was muddy, we just kind of lost traction and ended up getting up to the top, and ended up tipping backwards, and my cousin was on the quad, and she flew off like into the bush because she was like 60 pounds or something, and I thought I killed her. I fell to the bottom of at the very bottom of the hill and the quad landed right on top of me. I hit my head on a rock in the fall, and so like I was knocked out for a while, and when I came to, I was kind of like opened my eyes, and I was like, in a pool of blood, and I was stuck underneath this heavy ass big quad. I can't see or hear my cousin at all, so I'm sure like she flew off and like got like impaled by a tree or something. And like then I was just thinking, I was like, I really hope I bleed out before like a bear or wolf or cougar or some wild animal smells my blood and comes to finish me off or to come see me. Then I started hearing some rustling. I was like, oh no, like they're already, the animal's already here to kill me. But then it's just my cousin, and she was just like, she's like, I got my front teeth, like I got my teeth stuck in the mud, and I just burst out laughing because I was thinking of her like just like teeth down like in the mud. And then she looks and she's like, I don't think you have a face anymore. My whole face was covered in blood. But like that is from this little scar. That's all it was. The only it's like right over my temple though, but like it was deep. But like for the next 2 days my face would not stop bleeding. When I was sleeping that night, I swear, like, every mosquito in northern Manitoba, like, swarmed, like, over my face. They weren't stinging me, because mosquitoes don't sting me. They just, like, could smell my blood. My cousin and our friend, like, they weren't at all, like, bothered by mosquitoes at all that night, because we were at my cousin's cabin. But, like, there was, like, this thick cloud of mosquitoes, like, over my head, like, just buzzing all night, so I didn't get any sleep, because they're, like, just, like, I could, like, if I put my hand through them, I could see, like, them part. There's just so many mosquitoes. Yeah, I'm very accident prone. Anyone who's seen me, or anyone who knows me or spent any time around me, has definitely seen me walk into something or fall down. It's just, it doesn't bother me anymore. So I had to get used to it because it's happened so often, and like I seriously try to be careful and trying to not get injured, and I'm trying to work on my balance and my coordination, but like I can't seem to get it right. Oh well, at least most of the time, like, my injuries are pretty aren't very serious, and they're just kind of embarrassing or awkward, so I can just pretty much like laugh them off. Like if I like walk into like the side of into the window of a building, or like into the side of a window of a mall store or something, or else into a giant bell thing or whatever, that I ran into in Polo Park. That like rang super loud right after like knocked me onto my ass. Yeah, I can just get up and run away laughing. Yeah. Thanks for watching.